TV. But the biggest story, one of the biggest stories on Citizen TV, apart from that one, which had to do with education and matters of school unrest, which has also been covered on the back page of the Daily Nation, has to do with the situation in some of our hospitals. One of our reporter, Jackie Maribe, did an expose about the Kiambu Level 5 hospital, and where matters are not very good. We'll be looking at that shortly, and I'm linking it to a story on page 3 of the Daily Nation. Patients detained at Kenyatta National Hospital over bills spend nights on cold floor. Only a few have been lucky. To those admitted in the wards agreed to share beds. It's that issue of sharing beds. And when it came to the Kiambu Level 5 hospital, this is what Governor Waititu had to say about that matter.
To me, on a day she's here at one Magari, Magari, the Vitali, Itata, Kena, Duana, Kena, to the book with the Vitali, the Vitali that you need a
Speaking in a diaspora meeting in the States, Waititu attributed.
Yes, that was Governor Waititu of Kiambu, comment issue of sharing of beds at the Kiambu Level 5 hospitals. My panel this morning is made up of, let me start with the only lady at the table, Gladys Wanga, woman representative, Homa Bay County. Good morning, karibu sana. Next to Honorable Wanga, we have Kipruto Arap Kirwa, Deputy Party Leader, ANC.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. And on my right, we have Senator Isaac Maura. Welcome.
Good morning.
This is also your first time on the show, at least for you and Honorable Wanga. This is your first time on this side on Daybreak, because now it's Daybreak. And we are in a new studio. At least Bwana Kirwa was here last week. He was one of the few panelists who opened up this new studio for us. So how does it feel?
It feels very nice. I mean, I was just looking here to this. The thing I see on TV is actually real. I can see it's actually real.
It is real. Everything is real.
Congratulations to Citizen for this rebranding. I think it's really, really cool.
Yes, the studio is definitely bright, and you've just managed to make it even brighter this morning.
You can see State House there.
Yes, on the other side.
On the Parliament.
Yes. So, down to this issue of sharing of beds in Kiambu, it is a big issue, and you can see even the biggest referral hospital in Kenya is still facing similar challenges. But health is now a devolved function. For a county governor to actually come out and say those things, and I'll ask you to actually help us translate. I know we had subtitles to that, but maybe not everyone could understand. But what exactly did he say with regard to the sharing of beds at a hospital? Actually,
Waititu is saying that the worst hospital is the one that doesn't have patients. That when four patients are because they are going there because of good services. I mean, really, this is totally unacceptable. And it just goes ahead to reflect the kind of leaders that we have in Kiambu County. Because Kiambu Hospital, and by the way, that's where I was born, in that same hospital, many years ago, now a level 5 hospital. We have allocated 126 million extra. You see, we were there with the president and the deputy president around the campaign time, where we were actually launching new equipment. There are partnerships, but it is a question of mismanagement. You know, where you are told to share a bed and even buy your own basin, plate, your own spoon. I mean, how far can we sink? And yet, when you look at it, it's basically an hospital that collects money. It is one of the hospitals that uses a lot of the monies allocated, in terms of shareable revenue. But you can see now there is no professionalism, and it's unacceptable to hear such from a leader. It's a failure of leadership, and it needs to be condemned in the strongest of terms. Because Kiambu Hospital was seen as a stellar hospital just the other day, and you cannot say that it is as a result of failure. Gatundu Hospital.
But according to the governor, he says it's probably because of the success the hospital is currently experiencing. The fact that it's a stellar hospital, now it's getting a lot of attention. More and more people, even from other counties, are coming to seek treatment there.
Fred, look, we have Gatundu Hospital, a very good hospital. We have Thika Level 5 Hospital as well. Kiambu, yes, is near here, but you cannot tell me that it is because it is Excel, that's why mismanagement. The populations around, you know, Kiambu is one of the most populated areas, and it's also cosmopolitan. There are all types of people across the country who live in Kiambu. So you cannot just apportion and say because somebody went and they doesn't. You know, Waititu is on record as having said some people should even come out of Kiambu County. Yet you can actually tell that almost every community is represented in Kiambu County. Okay. So it is not good to hide under those kind of things when you are actually incompetent.
Okay, but this kind of challenge is not exclusive. Is not unique to Kiambu Level 5 Hospital. We can see Kenyatta National Hospital facing similar challenges. I'm sure even hospitals in Homa Bay must be experiencing the same problem. What is to be the problem right now?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say, I think what is unique to Kiambu is the fact that the governor is celebrating this kind of thing. I think this is really appalling. Yeah. How does a governor go all the way to the diaspora? I don't know which kind, maybe that was the US or wherever it was, you know, and then instead of putting our plight out there and saying we need this and that support to be able to ease out our health system, he goes and says we should celebrate that for people. What does he think of our people? Does he think our people really deserve to be in such conditions? But moving from that, yes, this is a problem, a global problem of the health system. When we had issues at KNH and the health committee and even some of us members of parliament who took an interest in the matter, one of the biggest things was, why is everybody coming to KNH? Why is everybody, even somebody from my village just comes from Homa Bay and comes straight to KNH? Why? Why is everybody in Nairobi going to KNH? Yet we are supposed to have, health centers, dispensaries, and other that are supposed to deal with primary issues, so that only referral matters come to KNH. So I think we have to bite the bullet and deal with what is bedeviling our health system. And according to you, what is that? One is that it's just not working. It's broken. So right from the beginning, somebody will go to the dispensary, they will not find services even to just treat, say for example. So somebody comes from deep in the village in Homa Bay and goes straight to the referral facility in Homa Bay town. Okay. You know, so one of the key things that we have to look at, and I know that people are bringing in various ideas of what we can do and whether we develop our facilities in the counties to level 6, so that we have 47 level 6 facilities. They're all they're all national referral, or whether it's not so much county referral, but they are all national referral, so that we have everything that we need within those facilities. But this needs a close collaboration between the national and the county governments, so that it's not just left to counties alone.
Universal healthcare is one of the big 4 agenda, President Uhuru Kenyatta's big 4 agenda. If at all President Uhuru Kenyatta was listening to Governor Waititu speak there, because health is a devolved function, the President will definitely need to work with these 47 governors if at all that aspect of his agenda will be worked on properly. Should he be confident that this crop of governors will actually help him perform that, actualize that agenda, if at all the kind of comments we're listening to from that level is what we go by?
Well, yeah, first of all, Fred, I just do pray that Governor Waititu was saying it with light touch, and possibly it was taken out of context, because that is really not be in Kenya at this particular time. It is wrong for somebody to make fun of a very serious issue as health, because 4 people sharing, not even in a hospital, sharing a bed anywhere is overcrowding, and it doesn't create even good health conditions. But looking at the totality of the picture, I think the President has the requisite personnel. My worry is whether our economy is going to sustain this kind of investment, given the fact that next year, half of the revenue we are going to collect will go towards paying the debt. And in the next 2 years, again, will even be escalating, such that in the next 3 or 4 years, we are likely, we run the risk of being one of the countries that must be downgraded. Secondly, the major problem with such a facility is the fact that at the foundation, those dispensaries cascading, let's say cascading up, they do not retain people at that particular stage. So that everybody, if you are in Cherangani, the following day you have a problem, you go to the district hospital. And yet there are certain facilities that if they had all the requisite resources, they would be able to hold the people. So that now Kiambu, for this case, becomes congested because the other facilities are not being funded well. Yeah.
And do you think, therefore, that this could reintroduce the debate on whether or not the health function should be fully devolved? Because if at all the president is to actualize his universal healthcare agenda, this kind of problem is already an impediment.
I think, yes.
The county leadership is already a problem.
There are issues, Fred. First and foremost, I'm told, and this needs to be confirmed, that Waititu was on a land buying promotion tour of the diaspora. That is not what as a county governor, because that is private business, really. I don't think there is any company from Kiambu people who then want to sell public land or otherwise to the diaspora. Number two is that I was at KNH because I had a sick patient, a cancer patient, and I remember talking to oncology nurses, and they complained about the way they're overwhelmed, you know, in terms of just like the way Honorable Gladys and Mheshimiwa Kipruto Kirwa have talked about, that everybody is going to Nairobi, to KNH. Now, and also I have met some young doctors. I was with their Secretary General last week when I was speaking to them somewhere in Rwanda. And he told me that there are many of them who are not employed, really. Yet we can see the strain, and they are ready and willing to work. Of course, he acknowledged the fact that most of them would want to be in towns, but they said if they are given an opportunity, and doctors who are not employed, really, when we have constraints within our system, it's something that we need to look at. The other thing that is very interesting, and Honorable Kipruto Kirwa has talked about, is the issue of national debt to our facilities. There is something that people don't want to talk about, but we need to talk about it. We are paying a lot of money on this leasing of equipment, you know, and it is in our budget. And interestingly, we have spent 9 billion shillings to build a referral hospital called Kenyatta University Referral Hospital. And the loan is now due this new month. And not even a single patient has been treated in that hospital. Because between who should run it, between the ministry and the university. You see, if, for example, we had that referral hospital, it would of course help the Moi and the KNH. Which is already
in Kiambu County.
Kiambu County, but also just to serve nationally, you see, because it's a university, you know, referral hospital. It would also help ease. But what we are seeing though is that we devolve the health services, and we must actually accept, without having the requisite capacity at the county level.
Do you think that's part of the problem, that the debate is down to should we have devolved the health function at that time?
Yes, yeah, I think we were too quick to rush, and the governors requested all the functions to be devolved, and because there was a tug of war and people were anti-devolution, then they were given everything.
Yes. When you listen to a county governor speak like that, do you think it's time we rethink devolving the health function?
I think I'm not a proponent of rethinking devolving, but I'm a proponent of getting better support, better collaboration, greater collaboration between counties and national government, especially on the matter health. National government shouldn't sit back and fold their arms and just give policy advice only. I think we need to look at how we can support more. And I think what happened was, health was meant to be devolved gradually, in a gradual manner. But I think there was a lot of pressure in the first year of devolution to just, devolve everything, and nobody wanted to be, as Maura said, anti-devolution and so on. But there are proponents, there are people who say, even when we were discussing the health bill in the last parliament, there were people who said, let us have health back to the national government. I'm not one of those proponents. I think there should be support. There should be collaboration, stronger collaboration. There should be greater financing. And one of the key things that is being talked about is also giving money directly to hospitals. There are conditional grants for health, that go to counties, but this money goes to the county account. Some counties end up not spending that money actually on the health services. So the money, I think we should have debate on the money going directly to hospitals.
Would that then be the same as reopening that debate on whether or not national government should be running those facilities directly?
No, the counties will oversight those facilities. They will guide the facilities, and the facilities will be under the county government. But every hospital will get their money directly from Treasury, so that it's not going to the county, decides whether or not to give that grant to the hospital.
Aren't we saying the same thing, just in a different language, that everyone feels that the counties do not have the capacity to actually run these hospitals? That's why we hear such comments from the governor, and probably only the national government has a capacity to actually propel the kind of development we want to see in this hospital.
Well, there is so much bureaucracy from the national government. I know, having been a minister for a certain period.
And the introduction of a devolved system only adds to the bureaucracy, don't you think?
But I think devolution is well-intentioned. I did a paper on the issue of devolved health service, and there are three things that are glaring. One is the logistics. Secondly, the procurement. Third, the personnel. Those are not in sync with the reality on the ground. You will go to a place like a small health center, it's expected to be staffed with a certain personnel. You really don't even have the number that is supposed to be staffed. They are supposed to procure certain services or certain drugs and other needs. They do not even have half of it. Some of the shelves are empty. And also, the major issue is that there is no effective interface in terms of timing, because they know what they need most, but at times they are staffed with some of the materials that they do not require urgently. And in some of the areas, there is not even water. And we expect some ladies to go and deliver in those hospitals. Is a major problem. But more important is that we did devolution with a lot of reluctance. Some of the drugs are still being procured centrally, instead of allowing the county governments to make decisions with the team that they have on the ground. And it seems that people do not know exactly what they ought to do. So there is no effective interface between government thinking and the county government. What we need to do is to engage more.
Yes. And now Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu and the county government are on the spot over the sorry state of the local level 5 hospital. The facilities wards are congested with patients having to share beds, and according to the governor, it would be nice even if 4 patients were to be on.
No, unfortunately.
Yes. Another story on page 3 of the Daily Nation. Patients detained at Kenyatta National Hospital over bills spend nights on cold floors. That's a related headline. Only a few have been lucky after those admitted in the wards agreed to share their beds. So sharing of beds is just the norm in Kenyan hospitals.
But there are counties that have tried. If you go to the Coast Provincial General Hospital, I think there's a lot of effort that has gone in there from the Mombasa County government in just making it better. It is a place is really good to be in, and the patients are under humane conditions, and it's clean, and they've renovated it a lot. They have a state-of-the-art ICU. I think that is one of those examples that should really be emulated. The CPG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, Oparanya has done a very good job
in Kakamega.
In Kakamega County,
as well,
with the Oparanya Care, and also the big hospital is building, the Rito Mureithi in Laikipia. So they are good examples. It's just that those who, and by the way, we have seen a kind of a history. If you look at some of the governors who have had experiences as ministers, as Mheshimiwa Kirwa, or in management positions, they are coming out better. Some of them.
So it is down to the county leadership.
Exactly.
The kind of leadership that the voters get.